Absolutely. I'm telling you, folks, can't get tired of seeing this.
Welcome to 48 Minutes. Smash that ravishing like button. Comment, subscribe, share. Here we are. Los Angeles Lakers. Darvin Ham on the chopping block. Is it his fault? Or is it, as we've been saying, a flawed roster? You have no true bigs. You got AD, who played a 4 in New Orleans to start his career. And you don't have a backup big. You see, when AD got hurt, Jackson Hayes, a 215-pound backup center, is not going to cut it. Not going to cut it. You have no true point guard on your roster. The one you did have, Schroeder, who besides Austin Reeves was the only one who had that youthful dog, that youthful exuberance in him. You had one person that would compete on defense on the perimeter, Austin Reeves. Your primary players, LeBron, nearing 40 years old, Anthony Davis, often injured, and playing a boatload of minutes. He can't play with a lot of energy in the second half. Pelinka should be fired. You are paying D'Angelo Russell $18 million a year, or is it 19? Who is a streaky three-point specialist, who doesn't compete on defense, who disappears certain games, can't facilitate. You needed outside shooting. A couple years ago, you reinvigorated the career of one Malik Monk. He was shooting over 40% from three. You let him go down the highway, up the highway to Sacramento. You can pay him the max money. But, as other teams have done, you could have gotten him commercials or a shoe deal to make up for that income. He would have loved to stay in LA. Who wouldn't? Who doesn't want to be in La La Land? Except for those who don't want to deal with flawed management. This has been going on for a number of years. You had Kurt Rambis, Mitch Kupchak being involved in general management. You had a in-house battle between Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. I'm a Lakers fan, I'll be the first to say. But Magic hurt the Lakers twice. First time, drafted D'Angelo Russell, saying he belongs up in the rafters, when you already had Jordan Clarkson there. A player with a higher skill set and was going to battle harder on the defensive end of the court. Second time Magic did it was when he convinced them to take Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum. We know how that worked out. Jason Tatum was trained by the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. And don't worry about him not having that quote-unquote killer instinct right now. LeBron didn't have it early on in his career and shied away from taking the big shots or taking over games in the fourth quarter. That'll come. The Lakers have done a great job, as we've said in video after video, with undrafted free agents. Alex Caruso, a great perimeter defender. Talon Horton-Tucker did great things for the Lakers when he was there in a bubble championship. A great perimeter defender and a slasher. And played point guard for Utah until Utah decided to start tanking. And also, maybe the best of them all, one Mr. Austin Reeves. He is the one you see out of the starting five scrapping on defense. And yes, Game 5, Jamal Murray hit another game winner. You've seen Austin Reeves fight over the pick. He had his hand right in his face. He hustled You couldn't ask for more out of Austin Reeves on that play. Now, let's get to Darvin Ham. Me personally, I like a coach that's going to motivate, that's going to show some enthusiasm. You see Mike Malone, possibly right now the best coach in the game. He said, "Who's your daddy?" to the Lakers. And he said, "Okay, yeah, y'all think that Rui can hold Nikola Jokic, the Joker, last year. We gonna show y'all." He talks a big game. He backs up a big game. He motivates his players. The same thing that Greg Popovich did. We haven't seen much of him because the Spurs have been an afterthought for the last 5-6 years now. I want a coach that's gonna motivate, that's gonna give inspiration to their players. Is it Darvin Ham's fault? I don't know. I don't know if anybody could have won with that roster. What I do blame Darvin Ham for, though, is a reporter had asked him, were they going to lose on purpose to the New Orleans Pelicans to avoid the Nuggets in the first round? Darvin Ham said, hell no. But styles make fights and matchups. The Lakers are just good enough to make the Nuggets uncomfortable in every game. They scrapped. They competed. They did not get blown out any game. So he had his team prepared. This is a flawed roster. Phil Jackson could not have gotten the championship out of this team. Speaking of which, it's easy to look like a genius of a coach when you got all the best players. Whether it's Phil Jackson, Steve Kerr. I'm not going to say Jimmy Johnson because I feel like he did a great job as a de facto general manager and as a coach, a motivating coach. Look what fell in the hands of Barry Switzer with that roster. He got a Super Bowl out of him. Jimmy Johnson that stayed, maybe they get 3 or 4 more. Steve Kerr was offered the Knicks job. He gave a verbal commitment, but the Warriors job came open. And who would say no to that job? Which brings us to who I would like to see as the Golden State Warriors head coach. This guy. Someone who was passionate while he was playing, while he was coaching, while he was commentating.
You know the rules. Hand down, man down.
And everybody wants to stay away from it. But here at 48 Minutes, we said we're going to bring you the truth. We're going to poke the bear. And let's just put it out there. Mark Jackson was fired, not because of lack of production, not because of an inability to do X's and O's, but because he was a Bible-thumping head coach. And Golden State had an openly gay executive in their office. And the Warriors owners supported him. Mark Jackson continued to tell them they're going to hell. And they got rid of him. Now keep in mind, that team was horrible for 15 to 17 years before he got there. Sub 500 after sub 500 season. He got them turned around. His last 2 years, his record was 98 and 60? 98 and 66, somewhere in there. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green laud him for being a reason why they were able to be successful as players and as men. We've heard all kinds of rumors. We decided to put the truth out there. We're going to let him speak for himself.
Come on, man. Come on. At some point, the lies have got to stop. The lies have got to stop. I've sat back year after year after year, listening to lies, questioning me as a man and my integrity. what I stand for, what I was raised on, has been questioned. I sat back and didn't say anything. My guy, the coach, the legend, Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has a great quote that I listened to just recently. He said he lost the address to the high road. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer because there's a side of me that's fed up, that's upset that you keep on smearing my name. Today a report came out that I was fired or dismissed from calling Knick games. Honored and privileged to have an offer bestowed upon me to back up the legend Walt Clyde Frazier calling Knick games. Over a week ago, I turned that job down. You heard what I said? More than a week ago, I turned the job down due to the fact that it wasn't the ideal conditions and it wasn't the ideal time for me.
Now, let's go back to Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham took the high road and did not want to lose or did not want to sit AD for an injury to avoid the Nuggets in the first round. You could have gotten OKC, a team I think you would have beat in 5 or 6 games. The greatest in boxing, as many say today, I don't agree. I think it's Ali, Floyd Mayweather. He fought Canelo Alvarez when he was younger. He gave a weight stipulation of 152 pounds. We all know how big naturally Canelo is. You take every advantage you can get. He caught him at the right time, caught him at the right weight, and look what he did to him. He dominated him that whole fight. It happens in boxing all the time. Styles make fights and matchups. There are certain teams that have your number, and there are certain teams whose number you have. So, you heard me over and over again. Like me and my cousin James were speaking about. When the Lakers made the AD trade, we thought it was horrible. They included Josh Hart in that trade. There are not many players that you're gonna find like a Josh Hart. A 6'4", tough player, hit the game winner, and will get you 13, 14 rebounds in the game at 6'4". He's gonna play hell of high defense. Those players for Villanova, when they come to the NBA, they play hard. Thibodeau had a team that matched his personality in the Chicago Bulls when he helped mold Jimmy Butler into what he was. He goes to Minnesota. You have a weak-minded Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins, a big guy, Karl Anthony Towns, who doesn't want to play big. Jimmy Butler came. He saw how soft that team was. He wanted out quickly. A very bizarre team back then. Thibodeau is now in New York. He have players, his type of players, that are gonna scrap, that are gonna fight, that are not gonna give up. The personality of that team is Jalen Brunson. He is a superstar, the face of that organization. He plays motivated. He plays like he smells and wants blood. And the rest of the team follows. Now, Josh Hart was already like this before he got there. Lakers shipped him off to New Orleans. New Orleans shipped him off to Portland. Portland shipped him off to the Knicks. Lakers are said to be interested in J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick, I think, could be a great executive. I think he would know the X's and O's. A motivator, or someone that's going to challenge you, or like Ty Lue told LeBron in Cleveland, shut the f up. Will he do that? I highly doubt it. Would their friendship become compromised? Maybe so. But he would be a great executive in NBA. Keep in mind, just because somebody knows basketball, has a high basketball IQ, doesn't mean they're going to be successful. Look what happened with Steve Nash in Brooklyn. He'll probably never coach again. More challenging, even though he had 3 superstars on that roster, more challenging than what he thought it would be. This is the NBA today. As of this taping, Darvin Ham has been fired. Who's next? I say Cam Pelinka, which obviously would not happen, replace him with JJ Redick and hire Mark Jackson. That would be the Lakers' best bet. They need a motivator. 48 to 60 minutes. Sports.